Hi there, my name is Rachel. I work for Mindful Therapies. I am a mindfulness teacher, I'm a psychotherapist, I'm a cat mum, she was asleep. And I'm here to tell you that in this third lockdown, you are still not alone. So I've been trying to do a video every day, and I didn't do a video yesterday, and that is fine because I am human, and when we set an intention, it is not a rule, it is not something that we have to do, and that's fine. But I thought, why not do a bonus today? So I've done day 17. This is day 17 bonus. And what I wanted to share with you today, so earlier on I was talking about sadness. What I wanted to share in this session is something that is from a little reading from a book. So back in December, wintering was the theme of the month. And I think this book, which I got for Christmas, is a perfect kind of way of thinking about this whole period of time. So the period of time of winter from, well, in this country, from the end of May until the beginning of the next May. But really, when's winter? From November to February, March kind of time. But it's also that kind of emotional wintering where we kind of hunker down, we hibernate, we process. And lockdown this entire year has been a form of wintering. It's been a kind of a forced retreat, and retreat's an interesting word. So when we retreat, we can think of it as a giving up and a running away from battle, but we can also think of it like, when we go away on a retreat, we go on a meditation retreat, we go for nurturing and replenishing. And so we need to kind of, I suppose we do that in battle as well. When we're in battle, I'm not speaking from experience, but we're up at the front line, and then when we retreat, we're going back to recharge, we're going back to regroup, we're going back to look at our strategy, we're going back to I don't know, get some more ammunition, and then we go back into battle. So it's that kind of toing and froing from being in the thick of it to kind of coming back to ourselves. And there's a lovely couple of sections here about sadness that I just thought I would read out to you. And I would highly recommend this book. I've really enjoyed it. It kind of, there's like a section on each month, and so I started in January and then went back, and so I've just finished it in the middle. So I'm just going to read a little bit here. But if happiness is a skill, then sadness is too. Perhaps through all those years at school, or perhaps through other terrors, we are taught to ignore it, to stuff it down into our satchels and pretend it isn't there. As adults, we often have to learn to hear the clarity of its call. That is wintering. It is the active acceptance of sadness. I love that line. The active acceptance of sadness. It is the practice of allowing ourselves to feel it as a need. It is the courage to stare down the worst parts of our experience and to commit to healing them the best we can. Wintering is a moment of intuition, our true needs felt keenly as a knife. Here's another little bit that I want to read as well. Where is it? Here is another truth about wintering. You'll find wisdom in your winter, and once it's over, it's your responsibility to pass it on. And in return, it's our responsibility to listen to those who have wintered before us. It's an exchange of gifts in which nobody loses out. This may involve the breaking of a lifelong habit, passed down carefully through generations, that of looking at other people's misfortunes and feeling certain that they brought them upon themselves in a way that you never would. This isn't just an unkind attitude, it does us harm, because it stops us from learning that disaster happens and how to adapt when it does. It stops us from reaching out to people who are suffering. And when our own disaster comes, it forces us into humiliated retreat as we try to hunt down mistakes that we never made in the first place, or wrong-headed attitudes that we never held. Either that, or we become certain that there must be someone out there we can blame. Watching winter and really listening to its messages, we learn that effect is often disproportionate to cause, that tiny mistakes can lead to huge disasters, that life is often bloody unfair, but it carries on happening with or without our consent. We learn to look kindly on other people's crises because they are so often portents of our own future. Food for thought. So, yeah, I found that book really helpful just in kind of processing this kind of period of time and what that feels like and what that means to me and to us as a species. I think we're all in, I sometimes think of it as a collective trauma, but maybe it's a collective wintering. And hopefully we will have come out the other side, or we will come out the other side wiser. So I'll be back tomorrow with a different outfit on. And remember, you're still not alone. Bye.